evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Jackson Tours, I want to warmly welcome you to Kalabasha, land of pyramids and history. My name is Natalia Ariza, and I am your guide for the most spectacular tour you will have. We are at your disposal to help you. Our meeting point is the bridge over the waters of Nile. The tour begins around the bridge where you can photograph and different landscapes.
Good afternoon, my name is Vanessa Benavides. I am your tourist guide to trips tour the Egyptian temples, starting mainly with a series of recommendations. To enter this tour, it is important to have the appropriate clothing for the day. Women must dress full covered from head to toe. On the other hand, if you are a man, you can dress your leg. Everything is for our culture and for the respect we reserve to our temple. I will introduce you the Kalabasha temple. The Kalabasha temple is an ancient Egyptian temple that originally located in Bad al-Kalabasha, about the 15 kilometers south of Aswan. The temple was located on the west bank on the Nile River in the Nubia and was originally built around 13 BC during the first of the Roman rules. Thank you.
We start the route. Originally, this temple was located 50 km south of Aswan in the site called Bab al-Kalabasha. The polemic temple complex at Kalabasha, nowadays overshadowed by the famous Roman Temple of Mandulis, turns out to be an invaluable source of information not only on the development of the cult of Mandulis, but also on the relations wide centers in which the creation of religious concepts took place. Due to the constructions of the high dam in Aswan, this temple, on others, was to be submerged under the waters of the Nile. It now stands 40 km to the north of its original location near the high dam of the left of the Lake Niger. Now, we will follow the road through the bridge and history. The temple is dedicated to the cult of Egyptian god Horus and the Nubian god Mandolis. The foundation of the temple began under the reign of Amenhotep II from the 80th dynasty. The rest of the construction is purely Roman, from the reign of Augustus on the remains of construction with Ptolemy IX. The other walls have lots of inscriptions like the decree of Aurelius Caesar, the governor of Homs and Elephantines, stating that he is forbidding the entrance of porks to the city to the religious beliefs. A Maritime text was never deciphered before of the king Karamayed, king of the Burmese, which is an ancient Nubian tribe. The Burmese were a people of the earth and desert, ancestors of the mother Brigham. A decree written in Greek of the Christian king of the Nevada's circle, celebrating his victory on the Blemish, and was written on a wall in his public hall. Facade. The Templo has a quite that connects it to the Nile. The pylon facade is not decorated except for the cornice above the door. It shows a marvelous winged solar disk. The temple was surrounded by two enclosed walls encircling the sanctuary. Between them can find a water wheel and a millimeter. The court. The first court is mainly undecorated, but we can see the real founder of the temple, Amenhotep II, offering to the gods meat and mandals, and we can also see Palmon 9 offering to Isis, Horus, and Mandolis. Hypostyle Hall. In this postil hall, the columns has composite capitals made from different flowers. This car was decorated with the Romantic emperors Trajan and Antoninus Pius. The Egyptian god Mandolis of Nubian origins can be seen off the right wall of the gate to the sanctuary, with the body of a falcon and the head of a human. A decree written in Greek of the Christian king of the Nova Silco, celebrating victory on the Blemish. Then I believe you white my Vanessa companion.
We started entering the temple. We were able to identify that around us we see columns of great magnitude. We also show how these temples were built since they can see the stones what wish they were built one by one. As we see, it is a temple that has been built up for many years, that is, with the deterioration in the structures. We are showed by the temple of great by the magnitude we can identify at the entrance of the temple of serious engravings that the Egyptians made as a way of communication that they had between them. Also, they did to decorate the walls of illustrated papyri. The theme was very varied and ranged from symbolic regions representing God's right to scenes of everyday life, performed with great realism. There are numerous representations of plants and animals. The most important character is Paratron Priest, and we painted in large size statues of the architecture of ancient Egypt is characterized by its monumentality. When we are entering this temple, as I mentioned earlier, you can noticeably identify the engravings of the walls in this place. The most used material by the Egyptians is stone, since thanks to the most important buildings were indispensable, the architecture was archived of time. This means that although they cannot think, they did not use the arch and the jaw. They made strange figures that the leaning of pillars or columns. Otherwise, they could not achieve the monumentality they desired. The walls were thick, increasing the collapsing of the buildings. The engravings on the walls are the typical feature of Egyptian painting is that the figures were drawn in profile with only the trunk and edges facing the front. Another of the characteristics is the absence of perspective and the use of dull colors that is without drawing or blurring. Being inside the temple, we observe that it has different entrances, and that its presentation is a little geometric. Some doors contain birds. We continue to observe that on the walls there are drawings. The art of the Egyptians, it is possible to see different entrances. Such adores in the temple a very simple infrastructure, managed but at the same time very well done scenes in these temples. It was where the pharaohs live. The light in this sector is very little since they lack window and others. Being inside the temple, we observe that it has different entrances, and that its presentation is a little geometric. Some doors contain birds. We continue to observe that on the walls there are drawings. The art of the Egyptians, it is possible to see different entrances. Such adores in the temple a very simple infrastructure, managed but at the same time very well done scenes in these temples. It was where the pharaohs live. The light in this sector is very little since they lack window and others. In this place we can see the art of the walls, the relief and the low relief. On the wall, the most prolific decorated monolith was the relief, which became more present with the passage of time until, in late temples, it covered walls, ceiling, columns, rings, and wakes. Egyptian artists created both relief and the recurse. The bas relief allowed for more sound finish, but the required more carving. The recurves were used in harder and more difficult stones to work.